The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zixtar of the Velkron Collective collapsed onto the obsidian floor, his three hearts racing in synchronized panic. The holographic display before him showed something impossible. Humans had just completed a rescue mission in the Void Nebula, a region of space so hostile that even the ancient Krathok avoided it. "This cannot be," High Chancellor Morvine whispered, her crystalline exoskeleton dimming with disbelief. Nothing survives the Void Nebula for more than 6 stellar minutes. Yet the data was irrefutable. The human vessel Indomitable had spent 47 hours in that hellscape, retrieved a stranded Velkron science team, and emerged with minimal damage. When the Council had received the distress call 3 cycles ago, they had already written off the scientists as casualties. The Void's radiation alone could dissolve shielding in minutes. The gravitational anomalies could tear apart ships built by civilizations millennia more advanced than humanity. But humans had gone in anyway. Commander Sarah Chen stood before the Council now, her primitive cloth uniform somehow more intimidating than the ceremonial armor of the galaxy's greatest warriors. She was small by galactic standards. Most species towered over humans by at least a meter. Her biology was fragile, requiring a narrow band of temperature and atmospheric conditions to survive. She had no natural armor, no venom, no telepathic abilities. She was, by every measure the galaxy used, prey. "Honored Council," Chen began, her voice carrying the strange mammalian warmth that unnerved so many species. "The Velkron team is receiving medical treatment on our station. They'll make a full recovery." Zixtar finally found his voice. "How?" "We've analyzed your vessel. Your shielding technology is centuries behind ours. Your hull materials are primitive composites. By all calculations, you should have been vaporized the moment you entered the nebula's outer rim." Chen smiled, that peculiar baring of teeth that humans claimed was friendly but triggered prey responses in half the species present. "We improvised." "Improvised?" Chancellor Morvine's voice cracked with disbelief. "Against forces that have destroyed our best ships?" "We noticed the radiation pulses followed a pattern," Chen explained casually as if discussing the weather. "So we synced our shield rotation to the frequency gaps. The gravitational anomalies were trickier, but our pilot, Lieutenant Okafor, he grew up surfing on Earth, told me riding those gravity wells felt like catching waves back home." She paused. "Biggest waves he'd ever seen," he said. The Council chamber erupted in a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and electromagnetic pulses, the various species' expressions of shock. They had used mathematics, quantum modeling, and predictive algorithms to attempt void crossings. The humans had used pattern recognition and compared it to a recreational water sport. It was Councillor Thexik, the ancient Krathok Warmaster, who finally understood. His massive form rose from his resting alcove, scales rattling with what humans would call laughter. "They are hunters," he announced. "True hunters. We have forgotten what that means." The Council turned to him confused. "Look at them," Thexik continued, his voice carrying the weight of someone who had witnessed empires rise and fall. Eyes on the front of their heads, predators' eyes built for tracking prey. They are pursuit predators from a death world they call mild. Their planet has hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanoes, and they build their cities anyway. They are so accustomed to danger that they call it weather. Chen maintained her polite expression, but something flickered in her eyes, a spark of the wildness that her species had carried from the African savanna to the stars. Thexik continued his analysis. "We asked why their reaction time is so fast. It is because on their world, everything tried to kill their ancestors, venomous creatures in their homes, predators in their fields, diseases that killed millions. They learned to adapt or die, and they never stopped adapting." Zixtar thought of the reports he'd read about human history. They had gone from wooden sailing ships to faster-than-light travel in just 500 years. In that same time span, his own people had refined their existing technology by perhaps 3%. Humans didn't just solve problems. They attacked them with a ferocity that bordered on insanity. "There's something else you should know," Chen said, her tone shifting to something more serious. "We detected Zathan raiding parties on our way back. They were staging near the Helios colonies. The Zathan, the galaxy's nightmare, an insectoid species that had consumed 17 civilizations in the past millennium. Their swarms were unstoppable, their tactics brutal and efficient. The galaxy had learned to simply evacuate systems in their path and hope they moved on." "How many ships did you count?" Morvine asked quietly. Approximately 4,000 vessels in the staging area. We estimate they're planning to hit the colonies within the next cycle. Then the Helios colonies are lost, Morvine said with resignation. We will begin evacuation procedures. Chen's smile vanished. With respect, Chancellor, we don't abandon our neighbors. Earth's third fleet is already en route. We're going to stop them. The chamber fell silent again. 1,300 human ships against 4,000 Zathan vessels. The mathematics was absurd. Thexic's scales rattled again. You have a plan. We always have a plan, Chen replied. The Zathan are efficient, predictable. They follow optimal strategies based on mathematical models. They're rational. And humans are not? Zixtar asked. Chen's predator smile returned. Oh, we can be rational. But we're also the species that looked at massive creatures on our homeworld and decided we wanted to ride them for fun. We're the species that invented extreme sports because normal life wasn't exciting enough. We're the species that, when faced with a disease that killed 30% of our population, didn't flee. We invented vaccines. She leaned forward, and every being in the chamber felt the weight of 2 million years of persistence, predator evolution. The Zathan are about to learn what the rest of the galaxy is slowly realizing. Humans didn't climb to the top of our food chain through strength or natural weapons. We did it through sheer stubborn refusal to quit. We did it by being too crazy to know when we're beaten and too smart to fight fair. 3 weeks later, the Galactic Council would watch in stunned silence as human vessels, outnumbered 3-1, decimated the Zathan swarm using tactics no rational species would attempt. They flew through debris fields at speeds that should have been suicidal. They used their own damaged ships as kinetic weapons. They broadcasted rock music on all frequencies during the battle. The Zathan, for the first time in their history, retreated. And the galaxy finally understood what Earth had been trying to tell them all along. Humanity hadn't just reached the stars. They had brought their apex predator instincts with them, wrapped in a smile and a handshake, but no less dangerous for their friendliness. The prey species of Earth had become something far more terrifying. Pursuit predators with starships, who treated the impossible like a weekend challenge, and who simply refused to accept that anything couldn't be done. The galaxy had never seen them coming because they had been looking for threats that roared and conquered. They hadn't been watching for the species that would extend a hand in friendship one moment and charge into hell itself the next, grinning the entire way.